American Airlines staff suspended after black men kicked off flight. Let's remind you.
Gotta take you guys to the top. I want some numbers and some names.
We the only ones getting taken off the plane. Look at us.
I would never even film something. This is
You're right, yeah, this is wild.
like 8 black people.
That was wild. Another I'm trying to get home. Yeah, what's the issue? What's going on?
Yeah, this shit is crazy.
This ain't no random pick.
What's the odor that you're smelling?
This ain't no random pick.
So we don't have a right to be on the plane? Yo, I paid for the flight just like everybody else, but we don't have a right to be on the flight? Yo, this is crazy, man.
We can get a manager down here to sign the we can't do anything right now. Well, we gotta go there. All right.
You have to rebook us? What about the flight that I just paid for to be in New York City?
Right, we got work.
This is crazy.
2024, and you're still treating us like we're subhuman. Humiliating, embarrassing. Per the BBC, several American Airlines employees have been put on leave for their involvement in an incident in which black passengers were removed from a flight after a complaint about body odor. 3 passengers filed a lawsuit against the carrier in May, alleging racial discrimination in the 5 January incident. And the BBC with the details. In a note to employees, CEO Robert Isom said the incident was unacceptable and that the company fell short of its commitment to customers. The airline said in a statement, "We are holding those involved accountable, including removing team members from service." That's a start.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
Company has also announced initiatives aimed at future prevention, including an advisory group focused on the experience of black passengers. I'm getting again. We don't need more training. You need to have empathy and treat people as you would wish to be treated. I learned that. It might have been kindergarten, nursery school, Nazarene nursery schools where I went, Westchester, Pennsylvania. And we learned some values early on. In the May lawsuit, 3 plaintiffs, Alvin Jackson, Emmanuel Jean Joseph, Xavier Veal, said that every black man was removed from the flight between Phoenix, Arizona and New York City. Total of 8 passengers were removed. The 8 men did not know each other and were not seated together on the flight. Did you catch that part? Did you catch that part? All black people don't know each other. And the last I checked, you might have been smelling your upper lip, whoever complained. This is... American Airlines singled us out for being black, embarrassed us, humiliated us, they said in a statement. The 3 plaintiffs were eventually allowed to retake their seats on their original flight. You can keep your seat. In addition, Isom wrote in his letter that he spoke with Derek Johnson, president and CEO of the NAACP, about the civil rights organization's concerns amid the most recent lawsuit against the airline. The most recent lawsuit. You got to pay attention to every word. Isom thanked Johnson for sharing his concerns and viewpoints, adding that discrimination of any kind is unacceptable and will not be tolerated within the company. NPR with the details. That remains to be seen. Show me instead of telling me. The incident is not the first time American Airlines has faced allegations of discrimination. Separate incident, 2017, the NAACP warned black travelers to avoid the airline, citing a pattern of disrespectful and discriminatory behavior, as well as a corporate culture of racial insensitivity and possible racial bias. Systemic. BBC News. They lifted the advisory the following year after the carrier announced it had made changes to its operations. June 4th this year, however, it warned that it could reinstate the warning. unless American gave a swift and decisive response to the January incident. So you see what happened here? Remember when Dr. King organized the bus boycott, people didn't come to their senses. They weren't well-intentioned. You were messing with their money. And so then they said, well, we'll let Ms. Parks and the others sit down, but we don't want to, but money talks. Another incident involving American Airlines we covered involved retired Judge Pamela E. Hillville, who told us about the alleged discrimination committed by American Airlines staff. There she is. She's here with Doc. We'll let her tell it.
The first thing that happened was the flight attendant attempted to get my husband to change his seat so that someone else could sit next to the person they wanted to sit next to. And my husband refused. He refused to do it. And the flight attendant left. And then I think he came back a second time to make sure that my husband would not give up his seat. And that is something that my husband says he always felt as though that's what started this all. Since he couldn't do him, then he ended up doing me. And when I went to the restroom the first time, when I came out, he told me that I slammed the door and that there are people sleeping on the flight. I didn't say a word. I just walked onto my seat. The second time that I used the restroom, when I came out, he said, I told you not to slam the door. So from now on, you're to use the bathroom at the back of the plane. I looked at him and I told him there were other people that had used the restroom. There were 3 white guys that used the restroom and you didn't say anything to them about slamming the door. And I just went to my seat and sat there. The third time that I went, he followed me back to my seat. He touched me on my shoulder, told me that I was going to be arrested because he didn't like the way I spoke to him and that I hit him. I told him I did not hit you. And that was it. The plane, right before it landed, the pilot had said that everyone is to remain seated because we're going to have law enforcement come on board.
I don't understand why certain individuals have so much time on their hands for ugly racism. It's a full-time job. You're now following judges 30 to 40,000 feet in the air to the restroom and attacking, harassing. The details here, Senator, if we just didn't close our eyes and just listen, it sounds to me like exactly what happened with Rosa Parks. I'm gonna give you another chance to give up your seat. Okay, everybody see that law enforcement's comment? This is bananas. Bananas. Outrageous. Sick. You don't have anything better to do? Get the carts together, offer people a hot towel, a beverage. You don't have anything better to do, son, than a woman who is minding her own business, and this is what you're doing. Can't even take a trip with her husband. I told you we just want to breathe, Senator. This is what gets me worked up. I need you to make it make sense. And do we keep our foot on the necks of American Airlines? Do we quit them altogether? I guess we can't give up the power. You're going to behave.
I mean, we need the Biden administration at some point. So let me say, the CEO jumping right on this immediately is good. I agree with you, Sharon, that he spoke those words. Let's see what types of actions are taken. But I'm glad because we have had situations similar to this where CEOs of companies act oblivious or pretend like this is not happening. At least he said, not on my watch. It will not be tolerated, and it has acknowledged that this did happen. So we'll follow. No, we definitely got to keep the pressure on. In any great endeavor in this country that changed the social norms, it has been because of pressure. It has rarely, if ever, been because somebody, some bureaucrat or some elected official decided, oh, this is the morally right thing to do. No, it's because people made the demand. As Brother Frederick Douglass said, power concedes nothing without a demand, never has and it never will. There's more to that, but that's the basis of that comment. And Sharon, just listening to the judge though, it's stirring me up too. I mean, he's gonna tell her from now on, you go and use the bathroom at the back of the plane. I mean, does this dude had no cultural connotation as to why you don't, first of all, you don't say that to anybody, but you especially don't say that to black people, that we got to go, because it wasn't that long ago where we were relegated only to the back. That's not ancient history. He might have
said it that way. He might have done it on purpose.
Yeah.
He been doing this, okay?
Been doing it. Yeah, this ain't ancient. This is not ancient history. This is recent history. This is 20th century, the Montgomery bus boycotts in 1955, 381 days boycotting that bus company. And to your point, Sharon, money talks and the rest walks. Y'all fill in the blanks. My grandmother said it another way, and it is all about the money. And it's the same thing with American Airlines. And to the extent that these brothers went through what they went through, I'm glad that they have filed a lawsuit. I hope that they get justice as individuals, and that because they are fighting back, that there is a communal justice.
I agree. And our friend Derek Johnson at the NAACP, good work. Yeah. Good work. I want to keep going.
He's doing
put some
such
kind of
a good
fund
job,
together.
Sharon.
He told you. I can show you better than I can tell you. You're about to get less money.
That's it.
You want to keep playing? I told him that I put out a bolo once. I'll do it again. Okay, thank you, Derek.
Yes.
We'll get to hearts and minds, as you said, in a minute. But as Ronald Reagan, y'all love to quote Ronnie, trust but verify. How about that? That's what we'll be doing. We're going to trust but verify. All right. I would call that individual. And by the way, where were the rest of the crew? I know crews have slimmed down, but if I'm working on the same shift with you and I'm helping passengers, you're not going to do that. You're not going to come into the cockpit either and whisper in my, we got to get the law enforcement pilot. I would say, well, what happened? What is that? Huh? No. We're not getting involved with all that. Sit down. And you've been doing this before. I know your record. You know, it's not done in silence. Anyway, that's a Karen at 35,000 feet.